This is the Aferiy balcony energy storage box. There's obviously a picture of it. It says what it can power, technically probably the off-grid option, what it can power, light, laptop, TV, fridge, fan, kettle. Not too sure about electric vehicle, but yeah. Yeah, that's what it says. This side it just has main features, product info, PV input 2.4, which from what I've read it's only if you've got a battery expansion to this as well. But yeah, this is the instructions. There's only a little bit in English, all the rest is different languages. But it basically tells you some normal stuff. This was a little box it come with, which has come with this, which is basically that can go into the side of the battery, and you can then obviously plug two things into it, and it can run up to 1.2 kilowatts, 1200 watts. Comes with this plug, comes with that, it goes into it, and this goes to the grid. It's basically begging you to plug it straight into a socket, and obviously that will be legal in the future. Now technically it should be hardwired, but that is begging you to just come and plug it in. And it also says in the instructions, it also says you can just plug it in, but obviously a bit of a grey area. So that comes with wall brackets, screws, and then the tool to dismantle the PV from the solar from there. Let's get it out the box. It is well packaged. There's the unit. We've got carry handles on both sides. So hopefully I can just lift it out, and then that's just obviously more packaging. They do recommend to keep this just in case it ever needs to be sent off, but obviously that's optional if you want to keep the box. I might keep the box for a while, but we'll see. Here's the unit itself. I was going to get an expansion battery for this as well, but unfortunately I missed out and they were sold out, so just got the one for now. So we've got the front of the unit, we've got the USB, USB-C, so you can plug your phone into it if you wanted to, especially if you're going to take this, you know, sort of camping or something, if you wanted the off-grid option. Nice display, 10%, 25%, 50, 75, 100% charged. There's a light there to say if it's connected to Wi-Fi. There's a light there to say it's connected to the grid when it is. Obviously there's a warning light which obviously tells you if there's a fault. That is obviously telling you if the solar panels are connected, and then just a few different buttons here, power button on off. Let's put that back in a minute. And then you've actually got a button there to turn the USB on and off as well. Round the side, the right hand side, we've got two, so we've got the backup output port where you plug in the lead for the two sockets that it comes with it, and then you've got grid, so that's where you plug in your grid. The left hand side has another handle. This is where all the solar inputs get put into. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4 panels. I've currently only got 2 panels because online it says you can only have up to 2 kilowatts with one battery, and my panels are the 515 watt. So technically, if I put 4 on, it would be sort of overloaded. Technically, obviously not by a lot, but yeah. Sticker on the back. Cool. And then obviously you've got this, which obviously keeps it at a stable temperature. And we'll see how hot that gets. And obviously you've got, yeah, nice design. Nice design. And then at the bottom you've got obviously rubber feet. This is what you take off if you've got an expansion pack. So you take that off, and this sits on top of the extended battery to give you more battery storage. Very cool. Let's get into the garage where this is going to go and set it up. Right, it's a bit windy today, but anyway, yeah, there's the panels. See, I've got 2 panels, got the cable running down into the garage. Eventually we will put 2 more panels on, creating it a 2 kilowatt system, but probably just going to be when we get the expansion battery as well. So let's go inside the garage and have a look at the setup. Right, this is where the battery's going in my garage. Now, I haven't tidied it yet, just because, if I'm honest, the battery, obviously it was a pre-order, it's only just come out, and it arrived a little bit sooner than I thought. They were shipped out on the 20th of April. Mine was actually shipped out yesterday on the 21st. Just check the date then. It was shipped yesterday and it got delivered today. So good thing, really quick delivery. It was through DPD, really quick. I know they say on the website now between 2 to 5 days. I think that's just because there's so much demand for these batteries, and like I said, the extendable batteries that you can put underneath the main battery are currently out of stock on the website. You can order them on Amazon, but I don't know how long that will take. But anyway, the battery's going to go here. So, and this is where the solar panels are coming in. Obviously, this is one panel. This is another panel. Obviously, you know, it's probably very important you put this into one section of the battery, this and the other. You can't sort of mix and match because it will just confuse it. So we're going to temporarily just set it up in here today. Like I say, I was expecting it the end of the week. It's now Wednesday. I was expecting it sort of Friday, and then the weekend I would have done it. But what I'm going to do is just set it up briefly here, not to the grid, just literally put the battery in place, and literally just connect these panels just to see, yeah, just to get it sort of in place. And then when the weekend comes, I'll be doing it properly and getting it all set up, set the wall brackets up and all that kind of stuff, and go from there. So yeah, let's go get the battery and have a look. Right, here is the battery. There's the battery there. So it's not very big. It's probably what, obviously it says the dimensions online, but it's, you know, around 40 centimeters wide, probably by about 30 centimeters, you know, depth, and height again is about 30 centimeters. So it's nice and compact. The plan is eventually, when we can get our hands on some, is to get the expansion batteries as well. You can, I think, put 4 expansion batteries on the bottom of this, and I think they're exactly the same size as this. The only thing they don't have is the, you know, the bit of the grills at the back with the solar and the outports. It's literally just this, I believe, but pretty much the same size. And I think, yeah, you can have 4 extra batteries underneath this one, which gives you just under 10 kilowatts of battery storage. I think it gives you like 9 point something. This is just under 2. This is, I think, 1.9, which is fine to start off with, and we can get it all hooked up, make sure it works properly, and, you know, get it all synced in properly. So that's the battery. This is obviously the fittings pack it comes with, and to be fair, that is it. It comes with the instructions as well, and that is pretty much it. But we're not gonna use the wall mounts for today. I don't know exactly how the wall mounts work, but I'm sure there's potentially something to do with that. I would say it's that, yeah, where you screw that to the wall, and then you screw that in there, just so, I would say mainly the reason is if you were to have sort of, you know, 3, 4, 5 of these stacked on top of each other, you definitely want to secure it. With one, it's not too bad because it ain't sort of falling anywhere, but yeah, when you've got more than one, you definitely want to secure it to the wall, because these are about sort of 20, I think these are 22 kilos each. The actual battery extensions might be a bit less because you don't have this bulky bit on the back, but you are talking, you know, probably 20 kilograms each. So if you've got 5 of them, that's 100 kilograms. You definitely want to be securing that to the wall, because you don't want it to top over and one, break the unit or hurt anyone. So just to go through it again for anyone that's not sure, obviously you've got they call it off-grid selection, where you have 2 sockets on this sort of extension lead, which is probably around maybe 2 meters long ish, which, you know, you literally just clamp that in there by the looks of it, like that, push that in like that, release it, and that is away you go. If this has got power now, which I'll turn it on in a minute, but if it has got power, technically then we can plug something in here to power it, or we could plug our, you know, USB or USB-C in here, charge mobile phone, iPad, whatever, which is great because, you know, potentially if you were, you know, building yourself a, you know, camper van or something, you could have this system in your camper van. You could have solar panels on the roof, and literally take this in the van. You've got 2 sockets, it can run off. You know, you could probably get away with running an extension lead somewhere off of this. Obviously you can't go plug in really high appliances in this. It only powers 1200 watts, so, you know, you couldn't go plug it in a domestic kettle, a normal kettle, because that draws 3 kilowatts, so it would, well, I don't know what it would do, but it wouldn't work. But if you had a 800 watt kettle, camping kettle or something like that, travel kettle, it would work. You know, or a microwave, it can power a lot of things, it just can't power high wattage appliances, but it, you know, it can run lights, charge your phone. You know, even if you've got a heat pump, we've got a heat pump tumble dryer which draws around 1 kilowatt. This would be able to actually run it for nearly 2 hours actually, you know, without any solar going into it. So it's quite impressive what it can run. Like I say, it could do a microwave, it could do laptops, TVs, PlayStation, Xbox, PCs. It can power a lot of things. It probably can power a lot more things than what it can power. Like I say, what it says on the box, obviously electric vehicles. I don't really know how it can do that, whether or not it means like an electric bike, or you know, something that's not a car but it's got a picture of a car. But anyway, so that's that one. We'll unplug that briefly for now, but it is literally plug and play. This one, I'm not going to plug it in entirely now, but it's got a thread on it there, as you can see, and it's also got a rubber sort of band, rubber washer, so I'm assuming that sort of keeps it waterproof, because it is actually IP65 rated, I think, or 660 something, which is technically, it can go outside, which again is quite impressive. If, you know, if you're limited on room, you don't have a garage, and you know don't want it in the house, you technically can put it outside. Whether or not I'd want to put it outside, I don't know, but it is obviously, by the look of it, you can put it outside. But yeah, this one literally goes, unscrew this top one, literally this one plugs into there, screws up, and then literally it comes with a 5-meter cable, obviously with a plug on the end of it, which, like I say, that is just crying out, plug me in, don't worry about hardwiring it. But you know, as of the UK at the minute, technically you shouldn't plug it in to a plug socket until they change the regulations. I may try it briefly. I wouldn't go recommend having it unsupervised on a plug, just because you never know, and you know, from insurance purposes, if something did happen and it wasn't properly installed, you know, if it was on a plug, it might invalidate your insurance. Whereas, you know, if it's hardwired, by the book, it's done, then obviously you wouldn't have any problem. But yeah, that's that. But yes, 5-meter lead, so it is nice and long. So yeah, let's get this baby in place. Right, we're just gonna quickly I'm going to literally turn it on just to see what lights display and what it does, before I go connecting the solar panels. I've just put it on 2 breeze blocks just for now, just because the floor does get a bit damp. Not that really it should really worry, because you know, it is protected, it's on rubber feet, but I've just done that for now because I will be putting it on the wall, obviously not up high, but I will be attaching it to the wall at some point. And yeah, I've just done this for now, but it's basically said in the instructions here, you know, to turn it on, you literally just press the power for 3 seconds to start the system, and then you press and hold the power key for 3 seconds again to turn it off. So we're literally just going to turn it, hold it down, and see really if it comes with any charge, which hopefully it does. Hopefully it comes with maybe at least 25%. Obviously it is a lithium battery, so hopefully it's come with a little bit of charge. So let's hold it down for 3 seconds and see. Right, so it made a brief sound when it come on, some sort of fan sound, or you know, booting. It was like booting on, which technically, yeah, you shouldn't really be touching any of this now, because it potentially, that's live. Same with this really. I'll put the cover on that, and this I'd probably suggest when you plug stuff in to turn it off. So anyway, so it's come with exactly what I ideally wanted, which was 25% battery. It says active. It's not on standby mode, which I'm assuming you can press that to put it on standby, which I will look at in a minute. Obviously it's not connected to Wi-Fi currently, and obviously there's no solar going into it because it's not connected. It's not connected to the grid, so that light's not on. There's obviously not a fault with it, which is great. This is the USB port, which you can press on or off, which is great. So if you know, wanted to charge, obviously this is in the garage, so you know, I'm going to be using that very rarely. Really, it's you know, that's probably only used potentially if it's in the house, or if you take it, you know, sort of camping or with a camper van. So that's a great feature to have. Saves you plugging in. But yeah, I'm going to turn it off now, and 3 seconds. That's off. Hasn't made a noise when it's turned off. Must be just when it turns on it makes a noise. So I'm literally going to now flip it around a little bit. I'm going to loosen these cables, and then we will plug the 2 solar panels into the side of the battery. So I've undone one of the coils from one of the solar panels. I'm going to do one at a time, just because I don't want to undo all of them and then, you know, get a bit confused of what's what. Because, like I say, you know, from my understanding, both of these go into obviously the first one, second solar panel, third solar panel, and etc. You know, you wouldn't want to plug this one into the top one and this one into the bottom one, and vice versa, because I'm assuming it probably wouldn't work. You've got to have the same into there. So we're gonna, and I've also taped these up when I installed the panels, because it was a bright sunny day and I didn't want to be getting electric shock. Not that I don't think you do, unless you stick your finger in there, but just as a precaution, I tape the ends. Right, so this is one, and I'm going to keep these long for now, because obviously in time when I extend the system, it's just going to be easier, and then I can coil it up or whatever, because I've basically got 5-meter extensions from the panels into here, and yeah, happy days. So I'm going to just slowly take this one off, take this one not as well as the other one. Right, that's now off, which is great. So I'm now just going to literally plug these into here. So we'll do this one first. I'm just going to, they recommend to wear gloves, but I ain't got any gloves, so I'm just going to literally put this, but basically can't really get it wrong, I don't think. You literally just plug that into here, like that, and this one into here, like that. And from understanding, that is it, I think. Right, it's actually just turned on. It's turned on and it's charging. So I don't know if you can turn it off now. No, that's right, that seems to be it. As soon as your panels are connected, it's on. So you can't turn it off. There's no way of turning it off with the panels connected. So if you wanted to turn it off for whatever reason, you'd have to disconnect all the solar. But that's great. That one solar panel is now charging. So I'm hoping now, and there's no warning lights or anything like that, it's charging. So I'm hoping now, I'm going to quickly unravel this one and plug that into the second one. Right, so we've now took the tape off of this solar panel, which these cables are a bit longer because this is the solar panel closer to where it comes in. So it's a bit longer, but never mind. So we are going to now plug in the second panel, which we will do this one first, without tangling it. We're going to plug this one in here. They do recommend, that's why I've left it to now, but they recommend to do this, plug that in there. They recommend to do this sort of not when the sun's out, because sometimes the amount of current going through it can sort of arc it a little bit, but it's not too bad outside now. That's that one. So technically now, that should be charging it with both panels. So I'll put it at the front there. Obviously it's a little bit messy at the minute, with all these cables and whatnot, but this video is literally just to get a gist of the idea, and to sort of just, you know, start the process of it all. I'm going to get rid of this tape, because I don't think I need that for anything now. So that is charging. It's not sunny outside, it's literally, it's 7 o'clock at night, so you know, we ain't going to get much progress today, but there is obviously some power coming off of the panels. It's charging, so we'll see what it goes up to. I'm assuming once it reaches 50%, it will then just blink these two lights. The solid lights, obviously it's down to 25 at the minute, so it's charging. So yeah, brilliant. Not really going to do much more. We're not going to connect to the grid. All I will do now is probably connect it to the Wi-Fi quickly, and then on the next sort of videos, I'll you know, make this a little bit neater, get it in place, and you know, sort of start running it to the grid as such, and see what happens. Right, here's the app, which frightened me a little bit because it was all in different language, but you can have English, which is very helpful. So I'm going to sign up here now, and then we'll go through the app and see if we can connect this to the Wi-Fi and basically what it does. Right, so I've just registered on the app. It's not showing anything because I haven't added the device. So basically we're going to probably go to device, I'm assuming. And I'm assuming add device. So let's allow Bluetooth. This has obviously got Bluetooth in it, but I'm assuming it's that. Connect Bluetooth. Now we basically need to add in the network. So I'll quickly do that and then I'll come back. Right, it's now connecting to my network, I believe. So I'm assuming we'll see a green light on here in a minute when this is all connected. Right, added successfully, and you can see the light has also come on, which is fantastic. The signal to the internet isn't great in the garage. I've had to move the router about a metre closer to the garage to actually get a signal in here. So for the time being it's fine, but I'll probably just get a booster in the house just so that it gets a better signal. But it's here. Home is, here we go. Right, so it's updated. So obviously it's not connected to the grid, so it's not telling me much, but it is telling me it is, well, not now, but it was generating 119. Here we go, solar. Right, 50, I don't know what happened there, 58 watts it's generating at the minute. So the two panels are generating 58 watts, which, to be fair, for 7:15 in the evening with no sun, it's quite cloudy, it's windy, it's quite miserable, it's still charging at 57 watts an hour, which obviously is not great, but for a day, like, you know, for the time, and for two panels, that is two panels as well, it's charging. And it says it's actually on 17%, so I don't know. Yeah, 17%. Maybe when it gets below 15, maybe it goes down to 10, I don't know, but it's at 17%. So yeah, that's pretty much the app. Obviously it's not connected to the grid at the minute, so it's not gonna tell me what the house is using. It's not gonna tell me what I'm taking from the grid. So that's pretty much it, to be fair, for now. But all we know is it's working, it's generating solar, it's charging the battery, I'll check in probably tomorrow and see, but I'll probably do that on another video. I just want to get this video out as soon as possible, just to give a sort of brief video on setting this new system up, because it has literally just come out now. It come out on the 20th of April, and there's not many videos out at the minute. Right, I've hooked up this. I've hooked the plug up to the side of this, and I've plugged in the Aferiy. And initially it wasn't working. It's not charging now, but quickly realised you've got to actually push this button to have AC out to here. So if I press that, the light comes on, it clicks. There's a little light on this sort of extension lead bit, and the Hoover is actually charging. So it's charging the Hoover. Whether or not it says anything on the app, let's just have a look. Yeah, so it actually says here it is consuming 36 watts of power, and it's generating 42. So it says it's discharging at the minute at 18. This is the battery's discharging at 18 watts, which is fine. So yeah, that's great. Obviously nothing's coming from the grid because it's not connected to the grid, but it's showing us what we're consuming, what we're drawing. The only thing I've noticed on the app is it says PV1 voltage and PV power 42 watts. PV2 isn't saying anything, so I don't know if the second solar panel is, if it's got to be wired a certain way. So I'll check it when it's sunny, and see if it's not producing, I'll then just try and change it. So yeah, but I'm not too worried about that at the minute. It is charging with some sort of solar, and it's now charging the Hoover. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. I will definitely be bringing more videos on this, and we'll, you know, as we progress with the installation, I will document it, just so it's nice and descriptive, and you know, you can see what's what. But yeah, first impressions, it's good, it's working, it's connecting to the Wi-Fi nice and easy. The app seems pretty simple. Yeah, so first impressions, very pleased with it, to be fair. It's working, it's charging. So yeah, I'm just going to document the whole process. You know, hopefully it's helped people. If anyone's got any questions, please ask. You know, it's pretty simple. It's not the hardest of things to set up. Obviously you need an electrician to sort of hardwire it, which is fine, but we'll definitely bring more videos in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, stay tuned, and you know, hopefully I'll try and answer as many sort of questions as I get with the system, and then once it is wired to the grid, I'll sort of tell you pros and cons, what's good, what's bad, and then go from there. So hope you enjoy. You know, sorry, hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but you know, hopefully I just want to try and make these videos as sort of in depth as possible, without sort of going off topic. But yeah, that's basically it. The next video will be sort of basically me just setting it up properly. Hopefully I can sort out the solar panel issue if one isn't charging. It might just need a little adjustment on the cabling. But yeah, apart from that, see you soon.